Welcome back to the Girl Out of Order podcast. We are continuing in our worthiness journey. Today, our title is called Self-Worth is Your Ceiling. And I'm sharing today my 5 favorite keys to raising your self-worth. But before we dive into this incredibly important and I don't know, for me, kind of had some revelations when I was working on this episode, some things I've been learning and growing in. I cannot wait to share them with you. But before we dive in, I have 2 very exciting things one is not as exciting as the other, but I'll give you the really exciting one first. And that is we are having our first ever live community call via Zoom in our Girl Out of Order Facebook community. It's happening on Monday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it'll be the day that this podcast comes out. So get registered, get in there, get the link, register, and show up because it's going to be the first time I've ever done this within our Facebook community where we get to gather together, get to know each other a little bit. You can see your sisters' faces. We can have some conversations. There'll be a little bit of teaching and a lot of sharing, and I'm so looking forward to having you there. And the second thing, which would be very exciting for me, is if you would please go and give us a 5-star written review on any platform in which you listen to this podcast. We are trying to grow our audience, grow our mission, and build up a beautiful community of Girls Out of Order, but we need your help. Written reviews are everything to help podcasts grow. So please do us a favor and share this episode on your social medias and especially give us a written review. And I would be so grateful. So thank you for that in advance. Today, oh my goodness, I'm going to share our empowereds, which sets the stage for where we're going with today's episode. And it's by, of course, the great Kern Lima, on whose work I've based this entire worthiness journey the last couple months. She had a quote that really shook me, and it says, "We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our self-worth." That is so powerful. I want to say it one more time. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our self-worth. It's a quote that is similar to one that I heard recently by James Clear of Atomic Habits, when he says that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. And in that context, that makes a lot of sense to me. And when you put that context in the addressing the topic of worthiness, I felt on the one hand kind of like, oh, that really hit me hard. But on the other hand, I was like, it was so accurate and true that I found it to be actually very, very hopeful. So hang in there, sister, because what I want to tell you today, I believe is going to provide to you some really practical, tangible tips, tools, strategies that you can immediately employ to raise your ceiling of self-worth. Because think about it, if that quote is true, and I do believe that it's true, it certainly has been true in my life, and we can elevate our self-worth, then we are much more likely to reach whatever goals we set, whether it be to release 20 pounds or to have a passionate marriage or to make a lot more money, whatever that dollar figure is for you, or to launch the nonprofit. If we raise our self-worth, we are going to be that much more equipped, ready, and fired up, frankly, to reach the goals that we have for our lives. So let's dive in. Oh, I love those empower words. They just kind of give me goosies because it's so true and it's hopeful, like I said. Calling it out right here, the elephant in the room. All of us have struggled with feeling unworthy of our lives. One of the biggest reasons that I started Girl Out of Order to begin with is my lifelong battle with feeling like I'm too much, too loud, I talk too much, I'm too bold, I'm too brash, and yet never enough. No matter what I do, no matter how many state championships I won, no matter the law degree I get, it didn't matter because I would never be enough to be loved. And it's really what it comes down to. It's not never be worthy for our dreams, although that is all true. But I believe at the core of all of this feeling of unworthiness is I feel that I'll never be worthy of being loved. And if we don't feel like we're worthy of being loved, then we won't reach our dreams. We won't have fulfillment. We won't release the pounds. We won't start the business because we will be afraid of rejection. We'll be afraid of being found out as an imposter, all of the things that we've been talking about in this journey. And it begs the question, why in God's name is self-worth so elusive for so many women? Because think about it. How haven't we all seen women who seem to have it all? They've got the job, the money, the prestige, and then they date some guy who treats them like a doormat or is abusive to them. It's like they're living this incongruous life because on the one hand, they have so many things going for them, but on the other hand, they allow themselves to be treated like they actually feel inside. Self-worth is devastating. Low self-worth is devastating in the life of a woman. It impacts our mental health, our emotional health, our relationships, our finances, our career, our sexual health, our friendships, and our overall love of the life that we're trying to build in all the days that we have here. Low self-worth, sisters, is why so many women are perpetually unfulfilled, no matter what the number in the bank account is or what the title is on their office. And then that begs the question, or that leads to the question, and I know we've talked about it already, but I want to just flush this out again because I know in my mind, I have conflated these two terms, these two phrases rather, self-confidence and self-worth. I have mixed them up and spent so much of my life pursuing accolades and getting the state championships and getting the first chair in the band and getting the law degree and getting the job. And self-confidence only takes you so far because at the end of the day, what we really need is self-worth, and that's an inside job. Self-confidence is based on what's going on the outside. And so many of us put an emphasis on doing good so we can feel good. It's a fool's errand, sister. Don't believe that lie. And like I said earlier, it's why you see these successful women on paper, they're so successful, and yet they let people treat them like dirt, or they make self-destructive choices like drinking too much or engaging in drugs or engaging in promiscuous sex. They do things that don't match what you see on the outside. It's because they've got self-confidence, but they don't have self-worth. And without self-worth, self-confidence is an empty shell. This lack of self-worth, really what it is, it is a woman just not showing up as the fullest expression of her beautiful self. When women struggle, when I've struggled with low self-worth, and we all have, we show up as representatives of what we really truly are deep down inside. We bury parts of ourselves so deep in this protective castle, we keep them safe and we shove it down. And this beautiful richness, this self-worth, this love is aching to pour out of us. So self-worth, unlike self-confidence, is that deep inner knowing. That's what Kern Lima calls it, this inner knowing that we are worthy of love and belonging exactly as we are. Worthiness isn't about being perfect, thank God, because nobody is. And it's not about meeting these external standards. That's self-confidence. It's about believing, sisters, that you deserve love, that you deserve respect, that you deserve happiness and success just as you are because you are you. It's about treating yourself with compassion and respect, regardless of mistakes or flaws. So today, I am sharing with you my 5 favorite keys to raising your standard of self-worth, because I'm here to help you set a new standard. I am here to help you step up in the self-worth department, because this is an inside job. Nobody, sister, can do it for you. You have to do this for yourselves. And you are here listening to this podcast, or maybe you're jumping on this. I know you're going to be there tomorrow. You're going to jump. Yes, I am recording this on Sunday to launch it on Monday. There you go. True confession. Sometimes it happens. You're going to be there for that Girl Out of Order Zoom call where we are going to unlock our worthiness. And we're going to talk more about this and share ideas. We're going to share wins. We're going to share ways that women have had breakthroughs in the area of raising our ceiling of self-worth. We are unlocking our worthiness, because that's really what it is. It's locked down. It's not that it doesn't exist within us. It's just locked away. And it's about unlocking it. It's about unleashing it. It's about setting free your beautiful, most authentic self. So I have picked my 5 favorite keys to raising your ceiling of self-worth. And I want to let you know that they all have one thing in common. And I need you to hear this truth, because at Girl Out of Order, we always tell the truth. The one thing that all 5 of these keys have in common is that it's a choice of the will. You have to take action. You must choose to implement these tools. You have to choose to go on the worthiness journey. So close your eyes, and unless you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but close your eyes and picture yourself at the edge of a forest, and you see a path leading into the woods. And all you can see is the path leading into the woods. You can't tell where the path is going to go, but you do know that it's a clear path. You still have to choose. If you want to get to the other side of what's waiting, you have to choose to take the steps. You have to choose to walk into what sometimes can be the unknown. It can be uncertain, but it's a choice of the will. So today, I'm laying down a challenge for you. And I want this to be so hopeful, because and if you can hear my dogs barking, welcome to Podcastville, because this is real life. But I want you to have hope, because if it's a choice of the will, guess what? That means it's accessible to you. That means you can do it. That means it's at your fingertips, and there's nobody preventing you from raising your ceiling of self-worth except you. And if that's the case, guess what? That means you have some work to do. At Girl Out of Order, we are all about putting our work boots on, right? And it's a farm girl here. I'm all about work boots. And I want you to take responsibility for your own self-worth. So today's episode gives you these tools, and it gives you a challenge to go along with them. Do it, sisters. You're worth it. You need this. You must do this, because you cannot go on living life as if you're half alive. So are you ready to do the work? I know you are. I know you are. It's in my opening. If you're ready to do the brave work, come on in. Let's get started. So we're going to dive into these tools. All right. You ready? Number 1, awareness and a commitment to the worthy journey. That's my first tip, is to become aware and to commit to the worthy journey. Does it sound like a combined 2? Maybe a little bit, but they really go hand in hand, because it's hard to commit to a worthy journey if you haven't acknowledged where you already are. So the first step to raising your standard of worthiness is to become aware that the problem exists. That's why we've been talking about people pleasing. That's why we've been talking about imposter syndrome. That's why we've been tackling the lies. That's why I had Chelsea Alba on to talk about going from prison to paradise and her worthiness journey. because we want you to take an honest assessment of your beautiful life and find the spots where you need to up your game. Find the spots where you realize I'm not living with self-worth. I'm putting all my eggs in the self-confidence basket, or I'm just choosing to daily indulge in the belief that I'm not worth love, I'm not worth time, I'm not worth my dreams. Once you acknowledge that, the act of the will is to commit to this worthy journey. Are you spending your energy trying to earn your worth? Are you relying on compliments or accolades or promotions or just anybody else or anything else external from you to feel okay or admired or even loved? Are you looking to those externals to either prop you up or, this is a hard one to hear, numb you out? Are you looking to numb out the internal noise and what I call the shitty committee that tells you you'll never measure up? Get honest and then get committed. Once you know there's a problem, then the need to go on this journey is clear. You must make a choice to commit, because the next 4 steps that I'm going to give you involve you taking actions. You need to make a decision that you are no longer willing to live as less than you truly are. Sisters, you are worthy of being worthy. How about that? You are worthy of going on a worthiness journey. So are you willing to commit? I'm listening. Are you willing to commit? I know you are, because you don't want to live half alive any longer. Number 2, practice self-compassion. Now, I often tell women I'm working with, whether I'm coaching them, leading a mastermind, working in UHPW, or my most important mission field, my daughters, I tell them, speak to yourself the way you so easily speak to your sisters, your friends, and other loved ones. Think about how easy we hand out compliments. And they're genuine compliments. They're not platitudes, but how we genuinely see a woman and see her beauty and see her potential and see her worth. And we tell her and we speak to her that way. It's beautiful. And we do it with ease and grace and generosity. And then we look in the mirror and go, you again. That is devastating. Sisters, if you're committing to the worthy journey, then you must commit to practicing self-compassion. I love the word practice because it genuinely is a practice. You must do it over and over again to get good at it. Replace that critical self-talk with supportive and compassionate language. If you look in the mirror and be like, wow, you look old. No, in that moment, catch yourself and say, wow, you have lived a full life and you have so much wisdom. And when you love yourself, Christine, your daughters will learn to love themselves because little eyes are always watching. It's a shift in language until it becomes second nature. Embrace your imperfections, sisters. I mean, come on. Who wants a perfectly coiffed woman? Give me a break. It's our imperfections. It's our quirkiness that sets us apart, that makes us unique. Lean into what makes you truly who you are. I wear glitter eyeshadow. I probably look so weird and dorky to some people, but you know what? When I put my pink or purple glitter eyeshadow on, I'm still a little bit light today. I'm looking at my YouTube video here. But when I do that, I always kind of laugh and I'm thinking, that was really a little bit too much, right? Oh, come on. No, I'm not going to say it was too much. I'm going to look back and say, how much fun was I? Of course, I guess I won't really be looking back because let's be real. What's going to happen is I'm going to be wearing glitter eyeshadow probably until I'm ready to go home and be with God because it makes me happy. I embrace my quirkiness. I embrace my imperfections because it makes me who I am. But it's taken practice, sisters. So I want you to hear this. It takes practice. Self-compassion takes practice. So what if you choose to see your imperfections and your quirks as your superpowers, as your uniqueness, as what sets you apart? What if you choose to believe that what is different about you is actually part of your worthiness? Give it a try. Are you willing to practice? Are you willing to go on this worthiness journey and practice self-compassion? I pray that you are, because it is such a gateway to the rest of these tips. And these are just my favorites. There's so many different things you can do to raise your ceiling of worthiness, but I love these 5 that I chose today. Number 3. Oh, okay. I'm so excited. I'm not sorry. I'm so excited about this tip, this strategy, because I had an aha moment this last week listening to a Mel Robbins podcast. And all of a sudden, my passion for incantations, call them affirmations, if that works better for you, my passion for them and my belief in their power to transform our worthiness just went up exponentially. And it's because I was listening to a woman named Dr. Tara Swart Bieber. We just call her Dr. Tara because that's what Mel did, and she's freaking Mel Robbins. So I'm not going to do anything different. She's amazing. This podcast was so beautiful. Dr. Tara is into manifestation boards, just manifestation in general, and the power that it has, like the law of attraction, how we attract what we manifest. And it was such a life-changing podcast for me in particular, because she's a neuroscientist. And all of a sudden, the way that she broke down the science behind incantations and affirmations, it just, all of a sudden, I was like, it just makes sense to me. And now I'm even that much more on board for these incantations, these affirmations, because I've experienced their power in my own transformation and my own personal growth journey. And so for me, one of my top tips to raise your ceiling of worthiness is to engage your physiology in daily affirmations or incantations. Now, here's why I said it this way. Because Dr. Tara, when she was talking about the power of these incantations, what she said, and I'm going to read my notes, so bear with me. She said that let me back up. I'm going to give you the background first. When we are growing up, we have certain patterns and thought patterns and beliefs that are wired into our brain. And so for the longest time, Dr. Tara said, it was believed that we couldn't rewire the brain, that we couldn't change the brain. And what she's come to understand through all of her studies and her expertise is it's not that we rewire the brain, it's that we overwrite the coding that is already in our brain. So stay with me as I geek out here a little bit. What she said is our brains are trained for survival. And so what happens is our brain is always going to look for the most expedient, the easiest pathway to accomplish a task: breathing, eating, sleeping, survival. And so what she believes, and I have experienced this, is that when we do these affirmations, these incantations with such a passion, what happens is we create, I might be blundering the terms, so bear with me. We create new neural pathways that make it easier for the brain to choose these positive thought processes, these positive mindsets. It's crazy what she said that. She said, it's not about rewiring our brain. It's about overwriting the old wiring. And she said, this happens by repeating different truths, these positive truths, over and over again with such emotional intensity. And then I added, involving the body. And this is where Tony Robbins' teaching has come in and changed my life. When we do incantations, we move our arms and we move our body, and we do it when we're out walking, because engaging your physiology is part of the way that we get that emotional intensity inside us. And this is where Dr. Tara is putting it all together, made me go like my brain is exploding. Because what happens is when we have that emotional intensity and the practice of doing it over and over again, and we engage our physiology, now we've engaged all of our body, and we overwrite that negative code in our brain. So then when something happens, our brains find an easier pathway and it's the positive pathway. And you might be going, I don't know what you're talking about, but just bear with me. I'll give you an example. The bottom line is this, is if we can create a more efficient pathway for the brain to choose, the brain will choose it. And that's what we do with these daily affirmations and incantations. Now, there's very important words in this. Engage. You must do the work. You must actually get your body involved, engage your physiology. So get your body involved, meaning not just moving your arms and legs, but it's how you breathe, how you stand, how you speak. Do you inflect in your tone? It's like the greatest gift I can give myself is, think about, like, are you inspired? No. You think my brain's going to be inspired? But when I say the greatest gift I can give myself, my family, my friends, my clients in the world is to live fully into who I know I am. That is my favorite incantation I do. And if you're on YouTube, you can see me moving my arms, because I've gotten to the point where I cannot do that incantation without moving my body, without raising my voice up and down. And it's become so important to me because I'm overwriting the 50 years of crappy code with this new code, because I want to give my brain a more efficient pathway that is going to lead my brain to believe the things I need to believe, to do the things I'm born to do. It's all an inside job, sisters. It's up to you. So let's say you have a negative belief that I'm too late and I'm too old to ever start that business. I missed my chance. Okay? You probably are believing that BS. And so when you believe that BS, you feel that low sense of self-worth. So what you do, this is how you would change that. It is never too late to dream a new dream or to chart a new course. And I have everything I need within me now. Please watch this on YouTube and you will see me moving my body and engaging my physiology daily, sisters. Just like with practicing self-compassion, this doesn't happen overnight. But if you, like number one, are going to commit to the journey of worthiness, then you must commit to doing the work to change your mindset. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intentionality, and you're worth it. So if you're worth it and you're tired of living the way that you've been living, do the work, do the practice, engage your physiology daily in affirmations and incantations that will overwrite the crappy code in your beautiful brain and give it a more efficient pathway. Can you tell I'm just a tiny bit fired up? Yeah, just a little bit, because this stuff works. You have been listening to the shitty committee inside your head for so many years. And I would ask you, how's that working out for you? How's that self-worth going for you? If you want to increase your self-worth, you simply have to take action. You have to practice, you have to commit, and you have to engage. You are worth it. So remember, engage your physiology, the way you move, breathe, speak. Now, another part of these is that these affirmations, they must be congruent with the life you're building. Like to just say, I am a multi-billionaire, or I have 50 businesses. Like, you don't want to make it to the point where it's not even connected to where you are, but you want to be aspirational in it as well. And then be consistent, sisters. Are you willing to do this for yourself? Are you willing to invest in yourself? Be consistent, be committed, and be convinced. When you are convinced that you have the power to overwrite your crappy code, you're inviting it in. It's going to happen. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm so fired up about this. And I know that it's going to change the way you believe your worthiness. Key practice tip, visual reminders. If you're like me, you get going, 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 and it's really easy to forget to do the things you committed to do. Visual reminders, sticky notes, write on your mirror. I don't care what it takes. Get a tattoo. All right, I did not recommend a tattoo, but I kind of sort of did. That's what it takes for you to up your worthiness quotient. I'm all for it, sisters. Just make sure you thought that one through first. Okay, number 4. Oh, it's hard to follow that last one. But number 4 is pursue personal growth. Pursue personal growth. This is really, really near and dear to my heart because I've only been on a genuine personal growth journey, a really, truly committed personal growth journey since 2021. And it has radically altered and transformed and improved my life. It has changed the way that I look at myself and my abilities and my capabilities and my contribution and what I have to offer my family, my friends, my clients in the world. That's why it's part of my incantation. What are you investing your time in? What are you investing your treasure in? What are you investing your talents in? Do you choose to doom scroll and watch relentless Netflix, or are you reading personal development books? Are you getting up a little bit earlier and engaging in meditation and quiet times and reading the Bible or reading personal development books? What are you putting into your mind? Are you listening to podcasts like, well, obviously you're listening to this podcast. So hey, look, you already got yourself a gold star. Congratulations. That's amazing. You're way ahead of the curve and you didn't even know it. But I do what Dean Graziosi calls, and I take advantage of my net time, no extra time, NET. I take advantage of my net time and I listen to audiobooks and I listen to podcasts and I listen to teachings because I want to grow. You're either growing or you're dying. So if you want to change your sense of self-worth, if you want to raise the ceiling of worthiness in your life, you simply must engage in personal growth, personal development. It is a lifelong habit that will oh my gosh, treasures for generations to come. My daughters see me doing all this work, and I've heard from them that means so much to them, and it is changing them and their outlook on their own growth journeys. All right, number 5. This one is really, really important, and I want to give it a little caveat that let me just forget the caveat. We'll explore it as I go along. Number 5 is to practice your faith. Ask yourself, who are you actually doubting? This one blew my mind today. I was listening to Kern Lima's worthy book on Audible, and chapter 21 is entitled, Who Are You Really Doubting? And my heart cracked wider, because it's already been cracked open, but it cracked open wider. Because not everybody in my life and not everybody in Kern Lima's life pray the same way, believe the same way, but the vast majority of human beings believe in a higher power, a creator to whom or to which we believe we were created. If you believe in the universe, then you likely believe that things are divinely orchestrated and are unfolding exactly as they should, and that the universe has your back. This tip is so important because I have a question. If you truly believe that God has a sovereign plan for humanity, that he created humanity, or you believe that the universe has your back, when push comes to shove, do you really believe that it applies to you? Do you struggle with believing that you are enough as you are? Both of those things can't be true. This is what Kern Lima was talking about in her book, in her chapter today. She's like, you've created a paradox where both can't be true. You can't believe that God is sovereign and in control and doesn't make mistakes so that the universe has your back, and then turn around and say that you are not worthy inherently inside you because you've been created. When you call something self-doubt, what you're really believing is your own words and you're doubting God's word. Your words are in your mind and your creator is in your soul. It is up to you to believe which to trust when it comes to your worthiness. Your mind that plays tricks on you or your soul that knows. I love this quote from Sweet Home Alabama. Jamie quoted it in her book. And it was near the end of the movie when the father of Reese Witherspoon, she was trying to decide which man to marry. And if you've seen the movie, you know, then you know. And her dad looked at her and he said, "You can't ride two horses with one ass, sugar bean." Just freaking one of my favorite all-time movies. You cannot ride two different horses with one behind. You got to pick a lane. Either you believe that God is sovereign and that you must be worthy because he created you, or you don't. When you choose to doubt your worth, doubt your destiny, doubt you have what it takes, that you belong in the room, that you have value simply because you are you, what you're actually doing is saying that your thoughts are true and God's word is not. Pastor Stephen Furtick has a quote that says, "To doubt the product is to question the manufacturer." That was actually in a sermon I listened to today. So this message just keeps hitting home for me. And I believe that it has for you as well. I know that you are worthy. And I know that if you were honest and you look deep down inside you, you also know you are worthy. You keep showing up for these podcasts because there's a hunger inside you to live the life of your dreams. And that life of your dreams is waiting just on the other side of your worthiness journey. Like Kern Lima says, I'll end where I began. We do not rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our self-worth. So what are you going to do about it today? What are you going to do? Are you going to put your work boots on? Are you going to become aware of your weak spots and commit to a worthiness journey? Are you going to commit to practicing self-compassion? And sometimes that just simply means looking in the mirror and saying beautiful, affirming things to yourself. Are you going to engage your physiology in daily affirmations and incantations that overwrites that crappy code? Are you going to commit to a personal growth journey? Being willing to invest your time in what is going to fill your cup, not empty it? And then are you willing to practice your faith and make sure that who you are doubting is clear and you're honest about it? Sisters, you are worthy of setting a new standard for yourself. So raise your standards. Step up your worthiness. It does depend on you. That's the beautiful, amazing news. I gave you 5 practical steps here, things that have revolutionized my own life because I'm an intellectually honest person. And I have to be honest that if I'm doubting my own worth, I'm doubting my creator. And I'm willing to put my work boots on. Are you? I know that you are. Because you are a girl out of order. And we are on this journey together. And you are worthy. I love you so much. I will see you on the Zoom call on April 22nd. I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet you in person, if you will. I'm using the air quotes, in person on Zoom so we can share our worthiness journeys together. Because when we are in community, we are so much stronger. And I will see you next week for our last worthiness episode. I mean, really, there are going to be worthiness episodes probably for the rest of the, really, for the rest of the Girl Out of Order podcast. But our last official worthiness episode is next week. And I cannot wait to see you there. Have a beautiful week.